When Green Senator Scott Ludlam announced his shock resignation, little did he know it'd spark a constitutional conundrum and throw Parliament into a citizenship crisis that's so far ensnared 17 MPs. Well, tonight the fates of 4 will be decided, so let's take a look at how all of this unfolded. It was last July when Scott Ludlam found out he was a dual New Zealand citizen and therefore in breach of a little-known Section 44 of our founding document.
That makes me ineligible to hold elected office in the federal parliament.
Within weeks, that pesky section claimed its second scalp, none other than Scott Ludlam's Canadian-born Greens colleague, Larissa Waters.
I just want to apologise to all of the wonderful Queenslanders that I've been so proud to represent.
MPs started poring over their family trees, checking for any dualling allegiances. One by one, they began to identify themselves. Matt Canavan, Fiona Nash, Malcolm Roberts and Nick Xenophon.
This pretty much sums it up. Winston Churchill holding the gun.
At first, it seemed only senators were vulnerable, until doubts emerged about Australia's Deputy Prime Minister.
I may be a citizen by descent of New Zealand.
Barnaby Joyce had received some unwelcome advice from our friends across the ditch, and suddenly the citizenship saga threatened the government's majority in the lower house. Legal advice proved futile. The Citizenship 7, as they became known, was sent to the highest court in the land.
The Deputy Prime Minister is qualified to sit in this House and the High Court will so hold.
Well, no one tells the High Court what to do and only 2 of the 7 survived. Replacement senators were ordered and a date was set for Barnaby Joyce's by-election.
Nick, he got back, but he still wants to go, so I don't know how you deal with that. But anyway, Nick, you want to swap, mate?
The Senate President, Stephen Parry, revealed he was also British. Jackie Lambie too fell foul, as did Nick Xenophon's colleague, Sky Kokoschki-Moore. None waited for the High Court, though. They all quit on the spot. Citizenship doubts eventually saw Liberal MP John Alexander resign, prompting a second pre-Christmas by-election for the coalition. Luckily for the government, Barnaby Joyce was returned.
Yeah, we've got the band back together.
And John Alexander saw off the challenge from a high-profile opponent. Throughout, Labor ducked and weaved, shielding its questionable cases and keeping the pressure on the government.
This is a government without legitimacy.
But that ended with a new citizenship declaration process. David Feeney revealed he was probably a Brit.
And the matter should be referred to the High Court.
Eventually quit and sparked Labor's first by-election.
Jed Carney, the hero of Batman.
Next, ACT Senator Katie Gallagher was dragged into the drama.
I have formed the view that my situation should be considered by the High Court.
She was struck out, the 11th to fall, and the writing was on the wall. Labor MPs Justine Kay, Susan Lamb and Josh Wilson resigned on the very same day, along with Rebecca Sharkey from Centre Alliance. Now, their political futures rest in the hands of their electors.